From 1983 to 1987, the Colorado State Teachers Award honored teachers throughout Colorado, including many from School District 11. In 1988, the Colorado State Teachers Award was discontinued, but the El Paso County PTA came together to create a new program honoring teaching excellence.
The award is a tribute to quality teaching and promotes examples for outstanding youth to encourage them to choose teaching as a career. Good evening, I'm Barbara Harris, the chairperson of Crystal Apple Awards Planning Committee, and I want to welcome you here this evening to the 2020 virtual Crystal Apple Awards presentation. Yes, 2020 has been a crazy year, and it affected us just like everyone else with the quarantine and all of the rules and regulations. And so we appreciate that you're here this evening watching our video presentation of the awards program. This couldn't have happened, though, without the strong support of my Crystal Apple Planning Award Committee, and I'd like to take a couple of minutes and just recognize the members of my committee. Marty Collins and Karen Waters are retired School District 11 employees and also community members, and they are very strong supporters of Crystal Apple. Cass Daly is a former parent in School District 11 and still supports Crystal Apple. Jan Tanner, Nora Brown, and Audrey Atencio are members of my committee, and they represent El Paso Council PTA. Luann DeCleva, she's the School District 11 Volunteer Services and Community Partnerships Director. Myself, Barbara Harris, I'm a member of the community, and Judy McIntyre, a longtime employee of School District 11 that's retired and still supports Crystal Apple. I couldn't do it without him, and I appreciate him very much. And I also couldn't do it without District 11's media production services, especially Derek Fisher and Mike Favitella. They took all of their time during this COVID quarantine to take photos, to arrange for the presentation, and put the video together so that we could have a broadcast on Channel 16 tonight. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it. Tonight, the president of School District 11's Board of Education, Sean Gullickson, is here to say a few remarks. Sean?
Hi, District 11. I'm Sean Gullickson, your Board of Education president. Today I have the honor of thanking our 6 Crystal Apple Award winners for their work and dedication to District 11 to our students. Teachers have always played a very important role in my life, as I grew up as a single mother who worked quite a bit, and we moved around to almost a dozen or more elementary schools. Oftentimes my teachers were my most meaningful relationships. My 3rd grade teacher, in fact, still to this day has influence on me and is a big part of who I am today. It wasn't until Mitchell High School, when I met teachers such as Miss Foster in algebra, where I started to feel a sense of place and a place where I belonged. And without those teachers taking the time and investing in me in a more meaningful way than simply looking at me as a student, I may not be where I am or accomplish what I have today. And I share those stories because I know the 6 of you have made a similar impact on many of our students. And even if there's just one that you have made an impact with, that may change their lives, you've done your job. And it's teachers like you who make District 11 the most excellent district in Colorado Springs and in the region. So please keep it up. I want to thank you for your dedication to our students, and please continue to inspire every mind. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean, for your kind remarks tonight. At this time, I'd like to introduce Dr. Michael Thomas, Superintendent of School District 11.
Hello, everyone. My name is Michael Thomas, and I am the superintendent with Colorado Springs School District 11. Tonight, I'm joining the El Paso County PTA for the Crystal Apple Awards recipients, as well as a host of nominees that will be recognized here this evening. It was so great last summer to be able to surprise several of our award winners in their homes. With COVID, things are a little unique, and so we had to be creative. But we presented them a recognition award, which was a surprise. And then I also had the pleasure of going to every one of the award recipients' schools recently to present a plaque as well as a token of appreciation. This is a testament of the character of the D11 family. Thank you all to the award recipients, and thank you to those who have been nominated, because it speaks volumes that your colleagues in building leadership really think the most of you. And so congrats to everyone tonight. Thank you again to all of the Crystal Apple Award recipients, as well as all the nominees. And thank you all for participating in the 2020 Crystal Apple Awards ceremony.
Thank you, Dr. Thomas, for your kind remarks. At this time, I'd like to give you a little background on what the Crystal Apple Awards program is all about. Crystal Apple is a program that recognizes teaching excellence in School District 11, and it's administered by a committee made up of mostly community volunteers. We try to provide an example of excellence in teaching for outstanding youth so that they might consider teaching as a career in the future. It's a wonderful tribute to the teachers in School District 11. Tonight's Crystal Apple Award recipients will receive a beautiful Crystal Apple Award plaque and a $500 grant that they can use in their classrooms to impact the education of their students. Crystal Apple Award presentation would not be possible without the major supporters that we have here this evening. I'd like to take a moment to recognize them. The El Paso Council PTA is a major supporter and provides funding to the program through the sale of Valentine and Teacher Appreciation Cards. Carl and Jan Tanner. Carl and Jan Tanner provide a $500 educational grant for the recipients of Crystal Apple. And the Pikes Peak School and Public Employees Retirement Association. This organization provides funding so that we can provide the recipients with a beautiful Crystal Apple plaque. Thank you to all of our major supporters. We couldn't do it without you. At this time, I'd like to introduce Phoebe Bailey, Assistant Superintendent to School District 11, to announce the 2020 Crystal Apple nominees.
Hi, I'm Phoebe Bailey, Assistant Superintendent of Personnel Support Services. I am here to announce the nominees for the Crystal Apple Award for 2019-2020. Shauna L Brown. Shauna Brown teaches 5th grade math at McAuliffe Elementary. According to her principal, Tony Schoen, she is the embodiment of all that characterizes McAuliffe: dedication and commitment to students with flexible learning environments, personalized learning, and a focus on 21st century learning skills. Shauna is an integral part of the school's DoD Education Activity Grant Team and provides forward momentum to the McAuliffe Building Leadership Team. She does everything she can to support the entire school community. She challenges herself to improve professionally and was recently accepted into the highly competitive UCCS Culturally and Linguistically Diverse Education Endorsement Program, continuing toward a Master's of Arts teaching English to speakers of other languages degree. Shauna expects no praise for what she does so well, going above and beyond expectations to transform learning in her classroom. Incorporating capturing kids' hearts into her classroom has led to strong relationships with her students, allowing her to meet their emotional and intellectual needs. She is a teacher who cares about her students and builds an environment of respect and rapport in her classroom. She has made true connections with the most challenging students and profoundly impacts all her students, who frequently say how much they love her and learning in her classroom. Shelley A. Crook. Shelley Crook is the teacher learning coach at West Elementary School. Her principal, Karen Newton, describes her as a master planner, an innovator, a superior coach, and an exceptional teacher. She conducts a classroom where all students can excel, and through her coaching and intervention leadership, students in all classes are supported. Shelley firmly believes Nicholas Ferroni. Students who are loved at home come to school to learn, and students who aren't come to school to be loved. Building trust and positive relationship with every student is all important, which means she welcomes and checks in with every student at the beginning of each class in order to make connections and foster relationships. Shelley makes every effort to connect with parents, from organizing Title I parent nights to sharing student successes with parents in passing. Shelley has many roles at West. She participates in all professional learning communities to help her get to know students, works closely with the leadership team, and collaborates professionally with classroom teachers. Shelley's principal praises her. Ms. Crook eagerly approaches the challenges of education today with expertise, understanding, and enthusiasm. She is an exemplary teacher. Carolyn Renee Graham. Carolyn Graham, a second grade teacher who is now teaching and learning coach at Madison Elementary School, has served on committees, teams, and student clubs. She is key to many building-level decision-making teams and co-sponsors Student Council, which is instrumental in addressing the school-wide culture. She is passionate about her family, her colleagues, and the students at Madison. Says her principal, Darian Latimer, she has challenged us all to become better at what we do for the benefit of the students we serve. Carolyn's initial goal each year is to create a unique connection with each individual student that will foster security, belonging, and respect, allowing her to find each student's strengths, motivators, and passions. She encourages taking risks and has high expectations for all students. Carolyn says of her students, "After their parents, I become their biggest fan." Carolyn is a Madison parent, an active PTA member, and a community volunteer. She has enjoyed successful partnerships with parents all the years to support students, staff, and community, field trips, STEAM days, musicals, athletics, implementing love and logic strategies at home. The list goes on and on. Carolyn is considered a stellar teacher as well as an influential, thoughtful leader who shows a willingness to adapt to meet the needs of all staff and students. Holly Autumn Heverkorn. Holly Heverkorn teaches performing arts at Mitchell High School. Her principal, Carlos Perez, calls her the embodiment of excellence in teaching, a catalyst for the personal and academic growth of students. He appreciates the critical role of the arts in public education, life-changing for many of Mrs. Heverkorn's students. Holly and her program were selected to perform at the main act at the State Thespian Conference, the first time a D11 school has earned this honor. Holly is able to manage all the challenges of a Title I school and inspire her students to a level they never thought possible. Her expectation of excellence from all her students instills a sense of belief in themselves. Holly meets each student at their level of comfort, celebrates small victories for each child, and helps students graduate the class with an appreciation for theater arts as well as a marked improvement in their own performance and public speaking skills. Holly works with theater educators within D11 and across the city, creating curriculum content and organizing professional development opportunities. She welcomes every opportunity for community involvement for her program, and she is considered a lifesaver by some families. Virginia Elizabeth Stewart. Virginia Stewart teaches kindergarten at Scott Elementary School. Her principal, Jennifer Radford, shares 4 areas of strength she has observed in Virginia. She loves kindergarten students. She knows how young children learn best. She is a master of early childhood education. She is an integral part of Scott's legacy. Virginia creates a student-centered environment and knows her students as individuals. They feel safe and loved in a positive classroom culture filled with engaging learning experiences. They discover learning can be fun. Virginia feels herself lucky to educate them during this magical year of learning and development. Virginia's exceptional relationships with families stand out. She values and works at forging strong family partnerships. She is eager to learn about best practices, develop professionally, and contribute to her team, her school, and the community. She mentors student teachers, all of whom have gone on to become incredible licensed educators. She is a lecturer in the Inclusive Early Childhood Education Department at UCCS, constantly collaborating with current and future educators. Mrs. Stewart is the kind of teacher you want your child to have. Each child who meets her instantly connects with her. She has X-ray vision straight to the heart and soul of each little body that comes through her door.
Thank you, Phoebe, and to the nominees. They're all awesome teachers, and we're so proud to have you in School District 11 teaching our children. At this time, I'd like to introduce Rob Quirk from KOAA TV, who will introduce the recipients of the 2020 Crystal Apple Awards.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Rob Quirk with News 5. You know, where there's a will, there is a way. We were supposed to honor the teachers with the annual Crystal Apple Awards ceremony back in May, but due to COVID, everything has changed. But we are going to do it tonight, and I'm so honored to be a part of this presentation, this ceremony for now over 30 years. Honoring teachers. My wife is a teacher. Our family is invested in District 11, so again, it is my honor to be a part of this. So, without further ado, let's honor our first recipient, Becca Dougherty, a 4th grade teacher from Fremont Elementary School.
Hi, on behalf of El Paso Council PTA and Crystal Apple Foundation, wanted to inform you that you are a 2020 Crystal Apple recipient. Congratulations.
You won, Mom! You won! Oh my gosh, thank you so much. This is
Major.
Thank you all so much. And thank you to Julie and Leslie for doing my book and being amazing. And thank you to Fremont for loving me fiercely.
Congratulations, Mrs. Doherty. On behalf of Fremont students, staff, and families, we are so fortunate to have you as a teacher at Fremont. Your kind, caring way of working with all stakeholders is an asset to our entire community. Congratulations on receiving this Crystal Apple Award.
Becca Doherty teaches 4th grade at Fremont Elementary School. Her principal writes, Becca is dedicated beyond measure to the students, staff, families, and Fremont community. She volunteers to cover classes, organizes student award assemblies, supports all evening and weekend events, and positively promotes Fremont through social media. Becca serves on the building leadership team and is actively involved in the PTA as secretary and coordinator of special events. As such, she helped to successfully plan and host the school's first neighborhood and community event, Fremont at the Park, which included Safety Town from El Paso County PTA. A colleague says she has offered a number of book clubs for staff to improve our teaching strategies and techniques. She makes them fun by providing little perks like bookmarks and snacks. Becca has received a number of grants that have given the school extra funding for materials, such as sets of novels and snap circuits to explore energy in an after-club school. Becca's students use primary sources to study history, as shown on the PBS NewsHour. They also were featured as an exemplary classroom by Education Week magazine for the use of primary sources from Ellis Island to study 19th century immigration. With their teacher as a role model, the class commits random acts of kindness, making cards for patients in the hospital, beautifying the school, and writing appreciation notes to staff. A parent of a special needs child shares, I witnessed Mrs. Doherty's inclusive teaching style that welcomes every child to participate. A student says, she always helps us when we are stuck on something that's hard for us to do. Another repeats one of his teacher's favorite quotes, everything is hard before it's easy. Ladies and gentlemen, Becca Dougherty.
I am humbled and honored to be a Crystal Apple Award recipient. I would like to thank my family, who have always been my biggest cheerleaders, my Fremont family, and the colleagues who have walked with me through this journey. I have always wanted to be a teacher. Whenever I was asked, there was never another answer since I was a very little girl. That answer was solidified when I came to District 11 in 3rd grade, and I had been in 4 elementary schools by that point in time, and I couldn't read. I had fallen through the cracks, and I had a wonderful third grade teacher, but an even better student teacher named Miss Miller. She spent the entire year pouring into me and took me from the lowest reading group to the highest reading group. And it was then that I realized that teaching was the only profession I wanted to be a part of. I had taught for 8 years, and I experienced a student who had a story very similar to mine, and she came into my class reading 13 words a minute, which for third grade was very, very low. And I poured countless time and energy into her, and by the end of the year, she was reading on grade level. But even more than that, she became a wonderful writer. She was excited to engage in difficult mathematical concepts, and she flourished into this wonderful learner. And that was the best gift I was ever given by a student. And so I will never forget that impact that she and other students have had on me. Education as a profession is very impactful, and I cherish the light bulbs that come on when students learn a new concept. I cherish when students are able to advocate for themselves and learn to speak for what they need and who they are. And I love the growth that they have, no matter how big or small. So I am very grateful to have the Crystal Apple Award.
Our thanks to Becca Doherty from Fremont Elementary School. Now our second Crystal Apple Award recipient tonight, Rachelle Gibbons from Queen Palmer Elementary.
Thank you guys. Well, I'm baking a pie, I'm doing my feet, I'm like...
Well, on behalf of the 11th
Thank you.
Crystal Apple Committee and El Paso PTA,
Okay.
well, I announce that you're a 2019-2020 Crystal Apple Award winner.
Thank you guys. How exciting. I'm like in tears. I'm like, well deserved. Well, thank you. Thank you.
Hi, just on behalf of Queen Palmer Elementary School, I want to congratulate our awesome rock star teacher, 4th grade, Rachelle Gibbons. She has been instrumental in supporting her kids at Queen Palmer for over 12 plus years. And she has been the most deserving teacher in our building, and we are so blessed and thankful to have her part of our Queen Palmer family.
Rachelle Gibbons teaches 4th grade at Queen Palmer Elementary School. Her principal writes, Rachelle is a natural magnet to those who enter her classroom. She cares about her students from the first moment they step into her classroom. Her impact sends ripples to every corner of Queen Palmer. Rachelle works hard to enrich her classroom for her students. She reached out to Kids on Bikes organization, which provides bikes, helmets, and lessons on how to ride safely. Students have an opportunity to earn their own bikes. She collaborates with the Catamount Institute to provide environmental experiences for 4th grade students, including field trips. Another helping organization is SOUL, Schools and Outdoor Learning Environments, through Colorado Parks and Wildlife. As Rachelle says, this program also helps to level the playing field for students who come from more impoverished communities by sponsoring 3 field trips, classroom presentations, and a family nature night. Other supportive organizations that Rachelle credits are Colorado Springs Utilities, the USAFA Science Department, Rotary, the Blue Foundation, and D11 Volunteer Services. A parent says, I appreciate how she creates a relationship with each child and is genuinely concerned with their well-being and academic future. Rachelle is amazing, and I am glad that both of my boys got to experience how it feels to have a teacher like her touch their lives. Students describe Ms. Gibbons as funny, kind, understanding, and thoughtful. A former student says, she pushed me to give 110%, not just 100%. She helped build my determination to get my schoolwork done. Ms. Gibbons prepared me for the real world. Ladies and gentlemen, Rachelle Gibbons.
I want to start out by saying thank you to my family, friends, parents, and students who thought enough of me to put in the extra effort and time to write letters, to coordinate the creation of my scrapbook, and to organize the best parade ever by my house in May that included my family and friends. I'm truly humbled, and I know that it was a labor of love, and it means the world to me. It encourages me that the actions that I've taken over the past 20 years is valid and good work. Almost 30 years ago, I started this journey when my daughter started kindergarten at John Adams Elementary. I found myself volunteering in her class several days a week. It was Thanksgiving that my mom contracted a staph infection, and I was debating between going to school for nursing and for teaching. And when they cut her leg open and the yellow-green infection oozed out, I decided at that moment that I wasn't cut out to be a nurse, and so teaching it was. eachone_@yahoo.com became my personal email, and I am a homegrown product of District 11. I attended Helen Hunt and John Adams Elementary Schools. I went to South Junior, and I graduated from Mitchell. And as my oldest grandson, Malik, used to say, in the 1900s? Yes, Malik, the 1900s. During my D11 school years, I ran across several people who knowingly and unknowingly impacted who I've become as a person and a teacher. The McDonald family adopted my mom and my sister when we moved here in the 1970s. They were all educators and counselors, so I listened to and watched them as a child. I have tried to uphold their willingness to help and accept others, to be an active part of the world and to make it a better place. As I think back on my middle school years, for instance, I'm reminded of Mr. Joe Slater, Mrs. Connie Patterson, Mr. Ray DeWitt, and Mr. Sam Dunlap. I remember their stern approach to what we were there to do. Our purpose was to be successful. Failure wasn't an option. I saw people who looked like me expecting me to get it together and make something of myself. I saw teachers, musicians, and community liaisons working hard and pushing us against our wills most times to better ourselves through education, working hard, and helping others. I know what it's like to come from a school where others doubt your skills and then to walk away with a city basketball championship. I've worked hard to live up to their expectations, and I carry with me the Southside and K-Land pride. I have modeled myself after the relationships and work I saw them doing. Mr. DeWitt, teaching us in band and playing gigs, taught us through his passion. Mrs. Patterson, holding my feet to the fire to learn our history so we could change the world. Mr. Slater, talking about worlds that would open up to us through education. And good old Sam Dunlap, better known as Uncle Bud, carrying home kids after open gym in the back of his old truck. They all instilled the importance of, if you can do, you should do. They and several others realized that there were inequalities for us in education, and they tried to level the playing field for us by modeling how to build relationships, how to be successful, how to be hardworking, and to set expectations, high expectations, for all those qualities for the students in their charge. As I look back over the students I've taught, I remember a young Natalie, my first year of teaching, who placed in my hand what I thought was dog poop. It was actually her first attempt at baking chocolate cookies. Now, I remember that I thought it was dog poop, so I dropped it on the floor. I often bring in baked treats, and I didn't know that she was trying to imitate that until she placed it in my hand, and I thought it was dog poop. When I saw the crushed look on her face, I immediately picked it back up off the floor, dog hair sticking out of it and all, and I ate it. Yep, I ate it. I had to eat it because we had just discussed baking and trying new things. Knowing that she thought enough to try baking and to bring one to share with me, I ate it. Then there was Nigel, who resembled Pigpen from Charlie Brown. He came to school on Ash Wednesday with an extremely smudged cross on his face. I immediately licked my finger, like a grandma would do, and wiped his forehead. And as I did, he screamed, "No, it's Ash from Jesus!" And I went, sheesh. Not knowing this tradition, I was just trying to keep Nigel cleaned up. And to this day on Ash Wednesday, I get emails and calls from several of my Lincoln Elementary friends reminding me not to clean anyone's face. And in my defense, I'd like to say that Nigel also ate a raw baseball-sized onion for snack in my class one day. In years past, I have always taught a social justice unit that includes Cesar Chavez, Dr. King, and Gandhi, and I love the way their lives work together toward making life better for their people. It was truly a highlight to have two of my students, Ataya and Kimura, show up with their handmade signs and protest downtown with me this summer. Such a direct application of lessons learned about peaceful protest. I share those stories because they all started with relationship, because I ate the hairy poop-looking cookie and cared for the cleanliness of a student and encouraged social action. I believe I create an atmosphere where my students feel safe, encouraged to take risks, and to be comfortable in the skin they're in and being who and where they are. I have built my career of teaching and helping others through creating meaningful relationships, and I've tried to be non-judgmental, yet no nonsense, as I have worked to meet the needs of students, parents, and colleagues. My students and my own grandsons have benefited because of my relationships. For instance, with Chris and the gang at Catamount Institute. They have provided all of them with hands-on outdoor science experiences. They encourage the stewardship of our planet in ways that are meaningful and impactful for kids. Because of that relationship with Catamount, my school and fourth graders were then chosen to become a soul school. They have allowed fourth graders for the past 3 years to experience the sand dunes, Bent's Fort, and family nature nights. Relationships with Joan Salsa and volunteer services has provided my kids with excellent classroom presentations and field trip opportunities for UCCS. Our relationship started because I have my kids write thank you notes, the old school way, with paper and pencil and markers. Kids on Bikes grew from my relationship with Daniel, who I met when we were doing an opinion writing on brain injuries. He came and I did a presentation on the importance of wearing a bike helmet. As we talked, he offered my school a biking program that I then have taught for the past few years. They have provided bikes for kids and built us a phenomenal bike library. Relationship with Cave Dave, who runs Cave Sim, allowed my entire school to experience caving at school. Our kids got to climb through 60 feet of simulated cave. Cave Dave also joined my class virtually for lessons during distance learning in the spring. My kids learned how sinkholes form and how sound travels. Relationships with fellow teachers who have supported me personally and educationally, people like Trudy, Danielle, Paula, Anna, Dee, Debbie, Julie, Ann, Angel, Dave, Renee. Can't list them all, but I am surrounded by so many people who listen to my crazy ideas and then support me and find a way to help me achieve them. My career began with relationships and continues because of relationships. I hope that my time with students and their families is filled with knowing that I believe in them, setting their expectations high, and some of the silly things that we've laughed at over the years. I only hope that I can continue to be the person that my friends and my dogs believe I am. Thank you.
Rachelle, thank you. And now our third Crystal Apple Award recipient, Lori Kozer from Jenkins Middle School.
On behalf of the El Paso Council PTA and the D11 Crystal Apple Committee, I'm announcing that you are a winner of a Crystal Apple Award for 2020.
Thank you.
And a lot of people came here to say hi.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks for being here, everybody. Oh my gosh.
And this award, well deserved.
Thank you.
All the judges decided you were one of the best teachers.
Oh my goodness. I've been blessed. It's my vocation, not my job, and I thank you for all supporting that. Thank you so much.
All right, Lori, we're just so proud of you. This is such an awesome occasion, and what a well-deserving person. The way you pour into our staff and our kids, and just your reputation for delivering every single year, it's unmatched. And this is just an awesome time of celebration. Soak it all in. You deserve it. We love you.
Lori Kosir is the choir director at Jenkins Middle School. As head of the music department, Lori teaches 7th and 8th grade choir, music appreciation, and an exploratory class. Her principal says she's absolutely masterful at taking any level of vocal student and sending them off better than she received them. Her choirs perform throughout the community when opportunities arise. Her groups have received superior ratings every year in the Pikes Peak Area Large Group Festival, and many students qualify for D11 Honor Choir and All-State Honor Choir. As co-chair of the D11 Honor Choir, Lori helps plan and coordinate the annual event. She also serves as a vital resource for other chorale teachers and student teachers. A colleague observes, her classroom management skills are near perfection. Another colleague says, Lori's ability to inspire and lead the student is a gift. She's a brilliant pianist, which makes watching her teach especially fun. Mrs. Kozer leaves a lasting impression on her students. As one former student puts it, I look forward to her class every day, and she always brought a smile to my face. She lives by the golden rule and expects others to do as well. A few years ago, the parents of a Jenkins student wrote to the Gazette after attending a winter concert saying, the closing song was You Raise Me Up. This could be a fitting tribute to their director, who has certainly raised her choir students up several levels in musicianship in a very short time. I am grateful that there are people like this teaching in our public schools. Ladies and gentlemen, Lori Kosir.
These are such unusual times we're living in, with such new and seemingly constant changes in circumstance. I've been taken back to the feelings of my first year of teaching on more than one occasion in the past few weeks. I am humbled to accept the Crystal Apple Award. I am not one who would do well in the world of politics, believing that one's quality of work should speak for itself. I love for my students to be recognized, expect excellent results from hard work mixed with love, and hold a healthy respect for competition. Ironically, perhaps, I would rather not be in the spotlight. One never knows where life will lead. I was raised on a family farm in rural northwest Iowa. As the baby of 6 and the only girl, Mom and Dad taught me about having a quality work ethic and having amazingly high expectations for each of us. Though neither of them was college educated, there was never a doubt that each of the 6 of us would obtain a college degree in higher education. My career has included 9 years of teaching in the state of Iowa, 6 in Ohio, and I'm beginning my 18th year in Colorado Springs District 11. I was incredibly humbled when the administrative staff at Jenkins approached me last fall with the proposal of nominating me for the Crystal Apple Award. The blessing of a strong and supportive leadership team has been a staple of my career in education, none more so than right here at Jenkins Middle School. I was fortunate to work with amazing role models early in the profession that forever shaped my future, and a select few that became lifelong friends. In 1996, I married my late husband, Lee, moved to Ohio, and life forever changed. Lee was my most avid cheerleader, supporter, and would come to be my most honest critic. As a performer at heart, he lived vicariously through my teaching. We often joked that I was incredibly blessed that he could financially support my hobby. He knew that teaching was my vocation, not my job. Life really changed when our first son, Nicholas, was born in December of 1999. Competitive juices became tempered with the love of a mother. Touching the life of a young person, wanting to instill great expectations, while witnessing firsthand the vulnerability of a young child and what actions and words could be a life-changing experience for them, forever changed my teaching. Our second son, Joshua, was born in August of 2005. Had we been able to have held the scheduled Crystal Apple banquet in May, Josh and a few of his Jenkins Middle School 8th grade choir students would have provided some music for the occasion in lieu of the speech that you are probably suffering. I can assure they would have been far more impressive and entertaining. It has been an incredible gift to have been able to have both my boys as members of my choirs in their middle school years right here at Jenkins. I owe a great debt of gratitude to my immediate and extended family, as well as dear friends, colleagues, administration, and administrative staff. D11 has long had a keen understanding about the importance of arts in a child's education. There is no more important time for that than today. To the students and their families that have touched my life in immeasurable ways, I thank you and will cherish the memories you have given me for a lifetime. As I recently read, life is not about perfection. It is about growth and connection. Let our collective mission be to grow and connect. Thank you so very much.
Lori, thank you. Our 4th Crystal Apple Award recipient tonight, Bart Mann from Penrose Elementary.
Mr. Bart Mann, the Crystal Apple Committee would like to see you out here.
Look at all those guys. That's awesome.
Congratulations, Mr.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Mann, we are very happy to tell you that you're a Crystal Apple Award winner.
Exciting.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. This is wonderful.
Thank you
Good
for all
deal.
you do for our
You
students
betcha.
and our families. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Bart Mann. It's been a great journey with you in the part of your career that I've had the opportunity to work with you. So congratulations. I can think of no other that deserves this Crystal Apple Award. And congratulations, and look forward to many more years working with you.
Bart Mann teaches 3rd grade at Penrose Elementary School. According to his principal, Mr. Mann is a champion for community. Through simple gestures and huge undertakings, he models how a community should be. He's always one of the first staff members to give a pep talk or lend a helping hand. And fellow teachers sing Bart's praises. I have seen firsthand how he has mastered both the art and science of being an exceptional educator. He holds high expectations for students regardless of their differing needs, and he works with vigor and resolve to help them attain success. He provides snacks for anyone who needs them, knowing full well the challenge of teaching a hungry child. Students recall special projects such as making and flying kites and making bee houses. They remember special books that their teacher read to them and playing Around the World. A former student says, "I'm glad you showed up in my life and made me a good student." A parent comments, "I've never met a teacher who keeps us in the loop like he does. He reminds us of homework and upcoming activities and provides personalized comments about our kids' successes, triumphs, and challenges. I feel like he realizes that parents, as well as kids, need positive reinforcement." In the words of a grateful parent, "You know when you see someone so passionate about their job, you think they were born to it? He was born to teach." Ladies and gentlemen, Bart Mann.
Thank you for this great honor of the Crystal Apple Award. I want to thank the PTA, the El Paso Council of PTA for this great honor. I also want to thank Laura Lee and Doug Rule family who gave me this nomination for the Crystal Apple. My wife, Sally, always encouraging and supportive, along with my kids, Kate and Jack. My dad is my biggest cheerleader in life, Neil Mann, and then my dog, Ross, who as always loves me unconditionally. I've learned many things in 26 years of teaching, but 2 I want to share with you today. The first is you're only as good as the teacher next door. Back in 1989, I was hired in Topeka, USD 501, as a para-teacher for a small department called Outdoor Ed. In this department, there were many veteran teachers, highly skilled teachers, and they were all nearing the end of their careers, and all they wanted to do was teach kids. So I had the great luxury of being on a team with these guys. Every day we'd get the big Bluebird bus out. We'd roll up to an elementary school. The kids would come pouring out the doors, so excited to learn something new and for us to take them someplace they had never been. I love this job because it was fun to have the kids excited to see you, but I learned something about myself. I had a natural ability to be able to manage rowdy kids. I would use open-ended questions. I'd take a vested interest right there on the spot of who they were and that they were individuals. And as I was learning all about Topeka history, I found that I could really capture their hearts there for the one day I spent with them, and there was something about that that I really enjoyed doing. Under the guidance of all these great old-timers, I decided to leave this job, and the only reason is because I wanted to go back to college. I wanted to get my own classroom. I wanted to shape and inspire my own future students in my own classroom. As I look back over and think about all these teachers in Topeka and also the 20-plus teammates I had over the years, the ones that really left the biggest influence on me were the ones who would work with me. We collaborated, we used our crafts to our advantage. They showed empathy. When I had defeats, we shared our victories, we celebrated our victories. We lesson planned and inspired and challenged our students, striving to have these lifelong learners and get them ready for a future that we didn't know what it might be. Good teammates know that we're better together, not alone, and that we can handle these challenges together. This Crystal Apple Award reflects the very best of all of us. My second piece that I've learned over the years, and only recently have I acknowledged the fact that I was born into a place of privilege. I grew up in a loving home where parents loved each other. They cared and gave their very best every day to myself and my two siblings. I got into this ultimate position where I was set up to succeed. When students often say, life's not fair, I have to agree, life is not fair, and I've been given way more blessing than I deserve. My privileged upbringing doesn't make me feel guilty, it makes me feel responsible for the gifts my gracious God has given me. Every day, I have the opportunity to help those that are less fortunate than me that come into my classroom every day and every year. I do my best to fill the family and emotional gaps that my students come to school with, modeling hard work, giving a caring touch, a listening ear, and a daily snack, or just advocating voice for them. My hope is that I can change the direction or be an encourager to these students that are put into my care. I accept this award for all caring and hardworking teachers. Thank you.
Bart, thank you. Our next Crystal Apple Award recipient, Becky Marsh from Sabin Middle School.
Congratulations! Congratulations!
Oh, thank you!
Come on out, sweetie.
The 11 Crystal Apple Committee and El Paso Council PTA, we're proud to announce that you're a 2019-2020 Crystal Apple Award winner.
Thank you. Cindy! Lori's here. Let's get the whole team together. 6 feet apart.
Hey, guys.
Hi, team. Oh.
Becky Marsh, congratulations on being this year's Sabin's Crystal Apple Award winner. We are so excited for you. This is such a you are so deserving of this award. We look forward to recognizing you. Keep up the great work. Thank you for being an amazing teacher, and congratulations.
Becky Marsh teaches math and science at Sabin Middle School and serves as the 6th to 8th grade coordinator of the school's Gifted Magnet program. Her principal says, "I am continually impressed with her intellect, analytic mind, and passion for promoting student achievement. She's a wealth of information, an effective communicator, and has extensive knowledge of curriculum. She is an expert in her field, yet continues to be a lifelong learner." As a team leader, Mrs. Marsh is respected by her team, school staff, students, and parents. Colleagues appreciate her strength. One says, she consistently provides both humor and insight as the facilitator of team marketing strategies, cognitive testing, field trips, elementary shadow days, department meetings, parent communication, National Junior Honor Society, Veterans Day Assembly, annual camping trip, and other events. Another says, Becky plays the role of team leader extraordinarily. Our team is able to function like a well-oiled machine with her at the helm. Becky is a fierce and tireless champion of gifted education in this district. Students describe her as a patient, organized, versatile, multi-talented, and welcoming. "No one can top the heart you have," says an appreciative student. A former student recalls, "Her office, always an open door with a listening ear and a hug, which I took advantage of when life felt like too much for my 12-year-old brain to handle." She has helped many students make a smooth transition to middle school. A parent of 3 Sabin Gifted Magnet students concludes, "As a parent, you always remember the teachers who made a real difference in students' lives. Becky Marsh is one of the teachers we will always remember." Ladies and gentlemen, Becky Marsh.
I was inspired to be a teacher by the major impact that teachers have always had on my life. It was a teacher, my grandma, who taught me to be honest, strong, and steadfast, and how to love unconditionally. She taught me the power of a joyful heart. It was a teacher, my mother, who dressed in suits and high heels to teach third graders in Omaha, Nebraska, who made teaching seem magical while I helped her cut out bulletin board decorations and organize fun supplies. She taught me how to work hard, how to listen compassionately, and how to be the best friend a daughter could have. I always knew that she was an excellent teacher, and I wanted to be just like her. When she became a dean at Pikes Peak Community College, I was always inspired by the invigorating class discussions and the inspirational texts that they discussed. I knew that she was teaching her students how to think differently. It was a teacher, my high school GT seminar teacher, who challenged me to have my own ideas and who had such high expectations for me that I never wanted to let him down. It was a teacher, who was also my soccer coach, who called my dad to tell him about the extra short miniskirt I was wearing that day in high school. I knew that getting away with things would not be possible. They were all in a secret club together. It was a teacher who said that I should be paddled for trying to teach his 4th grade class. And it was a teacher, my mother, who agreed with him. They taught me the value of not being a know-it-all. It was a teacher who had me and my AP Calculus classmates to her house on Sunday afternoons to study for the AP exam, who showed me how to be truly dedicated. It was a 5th grade teacher who talked to me after school the day after my grandpa's fatal heart attack, who encouraged me that it would all be okay and that I would feel better someday. It was a teacher and a school counselor who helped me and my best friend after her suicide attempt, our senior year. We circled around her and gave her the hope that she could not find on her own. It was a teacher who called to tell me that my high school boyfriend had been involved in a terrible car accident and that he was in a coma. He listened as I cried and cried. It was a teacher that made my daughter feel loved on her first day of preschool and turned the scary experience of leaving home into something that she looked forward to every day. It was all about the love. It was a teacher that inspired my son to follow his dream of pursuing a psychology degree and nurtured his love of written expression and critical thinking. It was all about acknowledging his strengths. It was a teacher, a professor at Baylor University, that encouraged me to pursue an advanced degree. She saw my potential. It was teachers on my teams at West, Irving, and Sabin who taught me how to be a better teacher by constantly sharing ideas and techniques that made us all better. We were always seeking to improve, and steel sharpens steel. It was about the trust and the friendships. It was a teacher, my former partner and best of friends, who taught me the value of play, challenge by choice, and risk-taking on the ropes course and in the classroom. It was about the challenge and the vulnerability. It was a mama, that's a Texas grandma, who reminded me regularly to be sweet, and who taught me so much about kindness, gentleness, and believing in the best in others. It was about the belief. It was a farmer, my husband, a builder, my father, and my son who always reminded me that teaching was the noblest of crafts, that I had the ability to touch kids' lives and to inspire, that my words and actions made a difference every single day, and I always feel like so much more than just a teacher when I see myself through their eyes. Teachers have always been there for my big moments. They are my family, my mentors, and my friends. The best thing that I can do in life is to continue that tradition, knowing that there is no such thing as just a teacher.
Becky, congratulations. Our final Crystal Apple Award recipient, Jason Smits from Doherty High School.
How are you doing?
We're doing all right. I know it says no.
Put some Doherty garb on or something.
I know it says no soliciting, but we're going to solicit you to buy a congratulations. On behalf of the El Paso County PTA, you are the recipient of the Crystal Apple Award.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Thanks for all the people coming out. I just wish somebody would have let me know so I could dress a little different. You look good. You look good.
Jason Smits, on behalf of Colorado Springs School District 11 and Doherty High School, I just want to congratulate you as the 2020 recipient of the Crystal Apple Award. I can't say enough about you, just who you are as a person, the way you connect with kids, the way you you work with our staff, our parents. You're truly a pillar of our school and our community, and we're just so blessed to have you in our district and in our school, and so proud of you and receiving this award. It's an honor, it's a privilege, and you couldn't represent Doherty High School any better than what you do every day. So congratulations to you, congratulations to your family, and thanks for all you do.
Jason Smits teaches math to 9th to 12th grade students at Doherty High School. Additionally, his assistant principal points out, for the past 6 years, Jason has tackled the challenge of creating and running our math tutoring center. He meets students where they are and gets them to where they need to be academically, and students love working with him. Mr. Smits is known around Doherty for being a teacher who'll go the extra mile, working at Saturday school sessions, running the clock at sports events, making himself available at lunchtime and after school to help students. He's a regular in the annual staff versus student basketball game for the benefit of the Harvest of Love campaign. A colleague says, Jason attends games, reviews scholarship applications, writes letters of support, corrects essays, tutors, teaches things outside his comfort zone, all in an effort to assist students in any capacity possible. Another teacher notes, whenever Jason and I have been on the same team, I've found myself becoming a better teacher because he improves our team mindset and morale. A student praises Jason's teaching style. In class, he does everything he can to help us understand concepts. He explores every possible technique in solving a problem and teaches us with well-planned and thought-out lesson plans. He tells stories, gives funny examples to help us remember content. He has meant a great deal to me and my family. My work ethic, motivation in school, and love of math have been a direct influence of Mr. Smits, says a senior from last year. I was definitely blessed to have a man like him in my life. Ladies and gentlemen, Jason Smits.
I would like to say some thank yous to some people who played a key role in making this happen. Thank you to my wife, Gina, and family. They rarely complained if I was helping students late after school or if I volunteered for yet another Saturday school. Thank you to anyone who contributed to letters or quotes for the book, especially to Ashley and Lana, the ones who wrote the nomination letters. Thank you so much to Velvet for putting in many hours assembling the book. She did an amazing job pulling it all together. Lastly, I would like to thank all the people I've worked with over the last 24 years in District 11. Especially like to thank the math teachers at Mitchell High School, the 16 years I worked there, and currently all the math teachers I have taught with at Doherty. No one receives an award like this without gaining ideas and learning lessons by working closely with people in your department. I've been blessed to have been molded by many great teachers who care deeply for the students they serve. I only hope I have shared some ideas with them as well. That brings me to this quote, which I believe sums up a large part of my attitude towards teaching. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Theodore Roosevelt. There are a lot of people and teachers who have the knowledge to teach high school math. However, there are not as many who want to spend their days standing in front of teenagers trying to convince them that finding the value of X is really important. It can be almost impossible to make word problems interesting to this generation. So there's a lot more to teaching than just knowing the math. If students over time figure out that their teacher truly cares about them as a person, then a level of trust is built with the students. Then students desire to listen to what you have to say and what you are trying to teach them. Building trust with some students comes quickly, but sometimes it can take weeks or even months to build that trust. One key to being effective at building trust is to never give up on the students. Keep being available and continue to show students you care about them as people. Once they feel safe and generally cared for, they show more interest in algebra or statistics that I'm trying to teach. Every student deserves to feel valuable. This is a very difficult time for young people to be growing up in. Social media and immediate communication can cause stress and anxiety. I feel now more than ever, our students need positive adult relationships and influences in their lives. They need to be able to talk to people face to face and build trust in their relationships. In closing, I believe relationships are key to teaching. Before I can teach any math, a student wants me to know simply them as a human being. Once they know I value them for just themselves, we can move on to the math. I'm still learning on how to build better relationships with my students. I hope my students are challenged with their mathematical thinking, but I also want them to feel valued. If you're watching this video, I challenge you to build stronger relationships. Think of one relationship you have. What can you do today to build that relationship stronger? Maybe a text, better yet a call, better even yet, meet them face to face. I guess today it would be mask to mask right now. You will not regret investing in your relationships. Thank you.
Congratulations to all the Crystal Apple Award recipients tonight and the nominees for all your hard work all year long through these difficult circumstances. Also want to take an opportunity to thank Barb Harris and the Crystal Apple Award Committee for all their hard work putting together these presentations. Also, our hats off to the District 11 production team that put together the presentation for this evening. You know, we got through this. It's been difficult, but we will move forward together. Stay healthy, everybody. We expect to be together back in the banquet hall, a huge ceremony in 2021. Have a great school year. We'll see you next year.
Rob, I want to thank you so much for your participation tonight in the Crystal Apple 2020 Awards to our outstanding teachers in School District 11. You have been a supporter for many, many years, and I know you need to get back to your duties at Channel 5 KOAA, so go for it. Thank you. And so tonight's event is coming to a close, and I just want to take a moment to thank everyone that made this evening possible. And I want to thank all of the teachers, both those nominees and recipients that were recognized this evening, and those that are out in the school district right now preparing their lesson plans for the next day. These are crazy times, and I know it's a challenge, but I want you to know that the community is backing you and we support you 100%. Let's go out and celebrate teaching excellence. Thank you.